Well, hello there, sports entertainment fans, and welcome to the latest edition of That's Not Wrestling. Nate Maxon here, along with my brother Aaron, and we
Hello.
are recording the podcast live on Facebook and on YouTube. And for those of you that are listening to the podcast itself, you can also, like I said, join us every week as we record on the We Can't Wrestle podcast Facebook page and the YouTube and the Facebook group. So there you go. Anyway, we are here to talk about the week in sports entertainment as always. And we were just talking right before we went on about how this week was a little rough.
Yeah, it was trying to find something good on set. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but it was bad.
The minute we go on the air, every time the minute we go on the air on this show, my house wakes up. Alarms go off. Cats go crazy. People are going up and down the stairs. That's the way it goes. But anyway, as always, we will say what our favorite shows were this week, and segments and matches, and least favorite. For me, Aaron, this week the shows ranked as follows: numero uno was SmackDown this week. I think it was the best of the four shows. Number two, very rare that AEW beats out NXT, but I actually gave AEW the nod over NXT this week. And number three was NXT, and number four, with a sinking rock, was Monday Night Raw. That is how I ranked the shows. How did you rank them this week?
I didn't do 1 through 4. I just did. This was the best show. This was the worst show. So the best show, in my opinion, honestly, this week was NXT, and the worst show was Monday Night Raw.
Well, we are in agreement about Raw. Raw was pretty sad this week. What did you think the best segment this week was on any of the shows?
The best segment was, the Team Taz, Sting, Darby Allin stuff from AEW.
Okay. I voted for the ending segment of NXT with Michael Cole with Adam Cole and Roderick Strong coming out, Finn Balor out, and then Adam giving the shot to Roddy. You know, we're officially at the end of the Undisputed Era, I guess. But I thought this was a really good segment.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, but I just think the Taz one was better.
Worst segment of the week?
Randy Orton puking up printer ink.
There we go. I had the same. I didn't write down printer ink, but I had the Randy Orton coughing up Papa Shango's black ooze or whatever. That was pretty sad. The funny thing about it is the promo leading up to it. I actually have when I watch the shows, the way that I grade them is I give each segment either a star, a 0, or a half. Okay. And it's funny because I put Orton promo and I have a star, and then I scratched out the star, and then it was a big fat 0, worst segment because the promo wasn't bad, but that ooze thing, yeah, it was stupid. All right, what do you think the best match was this week?
The best match was the street fight between Karrion Kross and Santo Escobar.
Okay. My favorite match of the week was actually the Lance Archer Rey Fenix match. I did enjoy that match. Actually, I think that I've been a Phoenix mark since I first saw him in MLW, and I think that he's one of the better sports entertainers in the world right now. I think with him, with his high spots, as a spot monkey, he's the least monkey, if that makes sense. Like, I think that he generally makes his monkey spots make sense. And he's as good a worker in his prime as Rey Mysterio was in his prime. So Anyway, that was my favorite match of the week. Archer and Phoenix. And then what was your least favorite match of the week?
My least favorite match of the week was Damian Priest versus Angel Garza.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mine was Tamina
He's
versus
it.
Liv
No,
Morgan.
you don't want to know the reason.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well, the reason may be because I didn't watch Tamina versus Liv Morgan because I don't watch ladies wrestling matches. But the reason is because I'm not a huge Damian Priest fan,
Mhm.
but every time I see the guy on TV, they're doing everything wrong with this guy. Like
Hooking
he
him
should
up.
just he just should went in there and smashed this guy. He's supposed to be this big, impressive guy, and he was like selling. Like Angel Garza like knocked him out of the ring. This thing was like 10 minutes or however long it was. It felt like 10 minutes. It might only have been 5, but it should have been 37 seconds.
I'm in agreement with that, but they do that with everything anymore. Everything is just everybody has.
It's across every show too.
Yeah, everybody has long competitive matches with everybody else. There's no such thing as just like you said, like you were alluding to, just get a guy over, you know. And there's nothing wrong with having people that are quote unquote enhancement talent and putting somebody over. I like Angel Garza, but you're absolutely right. In that match, he should have been squashed by Damian Priest. And I like Damian Priest. I know I'm a bigger fan of his than you are, but I'm totally agreement there. So now so Tamina and what's her face was my pick. Liv Morgan was my pick for the worst match of the week. I found myself just zoning out while they were in the ring. So now we'll just kind of break down the shows a little bit just to see where we're at with Raw. We started out with the Miz Morrison promo. I've said before on the show, I like the Miz, I like John Morrison. I hate them together.
Yeah, and the Miz would be an okay WWF champion or WWE champion. I know people hate on him. I've always liked the Miz personally. I think he's a good chicken shit heel.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been like a complete joke for like the last few years. So now he's not a good WWE champion.
And I think really. Go ahead.
I just think he's a way to get the belt onto Bobby Lashley, so Bobby Lashley can lose it to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Because are they having people at WrestleMania this year?
Yes, it's going to be socially distanced. That stadium I think seats 75,000, and they are going to do 25,000 in there.
So this is their way of giving Drew McIntyre a win in front of people. I think
probably.
I would how they react.
I would have liked to have seen it the other way around. In that, I mean, I don't think that Drew ever should have lost the title to Randy in the summertime, and I don't think he should have lost the title now. I think he should have had a strong 1-year run as champion, and then put Bobby Lashley over as champion at WrestleMania. They can keep feuding. Drew could win the belt back, what have you, but I think I'd rather see Lashley win the title from Drew at WrestleMania as opposed to winning the title and then losing it right back to Drew at WrestleMania. Lashley used one of those things that I absolutely can't stand. He said in this promo, he used the expression title opportunity. Don't like that. Just give me a championship match, you know?
How about a shot at the belt?
Yeah.
Give me a shot at the belt.
Shot at the belt, shot at the title, something like that. Title opportunity.
Which the belt has Velcro on it now. I noticed that.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they have like it looks like the buttons like where it would button on, but yeah, the championship belts are Velcroed in the WWF. WWE. Keep calling it WWF. WWE. It's Velcroed.
What did you think? Let me see. We had Matt Riddle and John Morrison. Then there was you could stop me anytime if there's anything you want to comment on. There was a segment with Damian Priest, Bugs Bunny, and R-Truth.
Well, you forgot about Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley's coming to Raw. Hopefully not to get ruined.
She'll be pegging Ric Flair in 2 months or something.
I actually have down here, I enjoyed the match between Damian Priest and Garza. And then we have the 24/7 crap going on.
Yeah.
I'm just running down. Raw was so bad. There isn't even really a lot to talk about.
The New Day, okay, the New Day comes out, and when they come out, they go to a break, and then when they come back from a break, they don't even show the New Day. They show the commentators, and they plug Punky Brewster, okay, and then they show a video package of Punky Brewster, and then they show the video screens of the cast of Punky Brewster, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, the New Day's still out here." Like New Day stood out there and watched 20 minutes of Punky Brewster, and then fucking Retribution comes out to their theme that's sung by Gordon Ramsay.
See, I didn't. You're exposing.
Shut it down.
You're telling me about stuff that I didn't see because it wasn't on the Hulu version.
Oh, you had to see it. It's like Jesus Christ. It was terrible. I can keep going with the insults of this show, but I'll.
I do like. Here's my thing about the Flair deal. I do like the fact that they are no longer trying to pass it off as Ric Flair is the father of the baby. However, this is the most. Anything they do with Charlotte and Ric Flair is the most bipolar storyline ever told. The story.
I love you, but I hate you. Go home, but stay. I don't want anything to do with you, but I'm going to wear your robes, use your music, and use your last name.
And then Flair's like, I'm going to be around here this week and be a big pain in your ass, but next week I'm going to promise I'll go home. I'll get out of your way, blah, blah, blah. It's the most bipolar storyline in wrestling history. They don't know what the fuck from week to week what's going on here.
They should just say that Flair has Alzheimer's and keeps forgetting that he said he was going to go home. I watched Raw on DVR, and you know what the most entertaining thing about Raw on DVR is?
Fast forwarding?
No. The last 10 seconds of Chicago PD with no context. Like you just see like the main guy like or whatever, like standing over a body, or just some random shit at the end of Chicago PD, and it's like producer Dick Wolf. It's like he's like watching the last 10 seconds. Like, what happened? What led to that body being like skewered onto like a street sign or something?
We got AJ Styles and Ricochet. I actually put down that it was a really good match up until
it was a good match.
Up until I got to whatever I decided was my match of the week. That was initially my first match of the week. As I go through the week watching the shows, all right, so far that's the match of the week. Good work there, of course. And then the Bobby Lashley Braun Strowman match wasn't offensive. It was what it was. Any other thoughts on Raw?
Nope.
All right. NXT this week. We started off with, we got Dexter Lumis versus Johnny Gargano.
Dexter Lumis is my jam sandwich, by the way. That dude is awesome.
I like The Way a lot.
I like Johnny Gargano and his team, The Way. They're all fun. I don't know what Austin Theory was wearing, but other than that, I liked everything about this.
Okay.
I think it's funny that what's her name? Hartwell, Indy Hartwell.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny that she thinks like Dexter Lumis is hot, and Austin Theory's like, he ain't so bad. Like, what happened when he was kidnapped? Did they ever show it? Did they show him while he was kidnapped? So like, what happened? Like, what happened? Where he was like, it wasn't so bad, And like Johnny Gargano's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be your creep, not him. He's not your creep. I'm your creep. Like, I kind of like this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny to me, and I enjoy it.
We had the attack by the Grizzled Young Veterans, who I also really like, on MSK. I know you're not a fan of MSK.
Oh, Servo and Crow, they went down, man.
That would be MST3K.
And I hate the video they did where I'm not going to knock the guy. I know the guy's how do I want to say it? I don't want to see like the guys on TV going, for one, I'm so happy to be here, and two, I'm doing this because my dad died. It's like, do I feel bad that the guy's dad died? Yeah, but I don't want that to be the reason that you want to win the championship. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see the guy crying in a video.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to see.
Tyler Rust. I hate Tyler Rust.
Yeah,
he looks like somebody deflated Kerry Von Erich, number one.
I just put the diamond. Tyler Rust looks like a fucking dickhead, and the diamond in the rust saying is completely stupid. And who is Michael Beavis? And why are they fighting
Leon Ruff?
I thought it was that Daniel Glover kid. Donald Glover, sorry. I just I don't know who any of these people are.
Well, Leon Ruff was the North American champion. He actually got the 1-2-3 kid style win over Johnny Gargano a couple of months ago.
I didn't see that. That was before I started watching, and I had no idea who any of these people are, and I don't want to know anymore. Like, they just need to go away.
Well, Isaiah Swerve Scott with the assault on Leon Ruff here. I like Isaiah. I dig him, but yeah, he's playing with amateurs in this segment. Not a fan of either one of these guys, especially Tyler Rust. Tyler Rust has super go away heat with me. Like, just be gone. Be gone. Be gone, yeah. Tyler Rust.
You dickhead. And they somehow made Cameron Grimes worse.
You don't like the $1 million man Cameron Grimes deal?
No, this is stupid. This is one of the most annoying Bush League things I've seen in a long time on a WWE program. This is bad. This is bad.
I don't have an opinion I don't have an opinion one way or another on it yet. I want to see where it goes. Archie likes it.
He watched a video on the WWE Network of the little kid dribbling the basketball that happened in 89? Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of the most viewed things in the history of professional wrestling, and he didn't know that Ted DiBiase kicked the ball because he didn't finish the segment. Happened 30 years ago. Fucking idiot. And plus, the guy's not very entertaining to begin with, and his voice is annoying, and he's acting like a moron. It's stupid. It's a stupid idea that they're doing.
Like I said, I'm going to give it a chance to see where it goes. I like Cameron Grimes. I dig him. But this, as of right now, yes, this is very Bush League in its infancy. But I want to see where it goes. You know, what kind of crow is he going to eat? You know, that kind of a thing. That's where I want to see where it's going.
He said in one of these DiBiase segments, he said, $1 million man Ted DiBiase, this ain't over. And boy, is he right. It's not over.
It's not over.
It's bad. And what's with the Xerox Lena chick or whatever? And she's got 1990s Jet Li in the ring chick with her. That's a lot going on with whatever that gimmick is. There's a lot going on there, and I don't understand any of it.
I don't think I have that in my notes.
I fast forwarded the match, but I watched the entrance and everything. I'm like, there is a lot going on with this, and I don't understand any of it.
Well, I don't know much about. I don't know much about that Stark girl. Io Shirai is really good, but you're right. The gimmick thing's kind of weird. You didn't get to see the stuff where they had the old man come out, and I mean, you need to go back and watch this from the beginning. There was an old Japanese man that came out, and yeah, it's interesting.
There's a lot going on. That's all I'm saying.
I was just looking through my notes here. I'm indifferent to Maverick and Dane. I don't care. I like the grizzled young veterans. That I don't know. Drake Maverick doesn't do it for me. Neither does Killian Dane. Neither one of them, and they put them together, and it's just silly. I don't know. I don't like it.
They would be the team that would be there if they had a crowd that every company had. Or the bushwhackers of the NXT, basically.
Now, what I will say is I gave a half a point to the fact that we now have Eli Drake in NXT, but I gave it a half a point because his name sounds like a line of 90s tennis shoes. I got my LA Knights, man.
I was considered like hairspray.
Get your LA Knight. It's a stupid name, but a great wrestler and a great personality. Eli Drake.
He'll get past the name. It'll be all right. Look how many names people had when they first came in that everybody was just like, ugh, that's terrible. And then that just becomes the normal thing. Everybody freaked out about Daniel Bryan. Look how many people freaked out when they started calling him the Big Show. And it was for like 20 years. So it'll be okay. It'll be all right.
Well, nobody better try to steal my LA Knights. I'm just saying. Don't try to steal my LA Knights. All right. So let's move on to AEW. We open the show with Jon Moxley against Dolph Ziggler's brother.
He somehow looks older than Dolph Ziggler.
Zolf Diggler here. Zolf Diggler against Jon Moxley. You know, it's funny. The Moxley Omega feud is like, it's like the best of times and worst of times for me, because when I see Jon Moxley's side of it, I like it, and when I see Omega's side of it, I hate it. Exploding barbed wire death match, give me a break. Anyway,
it's gonna be stupid. It's stupid to even think about doing it. They're not gonna be able to pull it off, and it's just gonna look like trash.
Now I think Mox could do it because he is, he's got the CZW style in his past, but it's a stupid concept it was stupid when FMW did it in 1994 or whatever, and you're going to put this garbage on national, well, I guess it's pay-per-view, but you're a national television wrestling company in the United States, and you're going to do this garbage match for your championship. But anyway, Moxley, of course, cut a good promo. He is a good promo. Then I got to see Mama and Papa Buck.
Yeah, Papa Buck looks like his catchphrase should be like, "This will be our little secret."
Well, I damn Mama and Papa Buck for bringing those two toothpicks into the world. But the Bucks show, I can't stand. These are. It's funny because that's a big fat zero for me anyway on the show. Even though AEW's show wound up being the best show of the week, there is some stuff that is bad here. Then we had the Brian Cage and Ricky Starks against the Varsity Blondes. Good tag team match.
Yeah.
Satisfying tag team match. The one thing I got.
Team Taz is the best thing in AEW. Best thing in the whole company.
I enjoy Team Taz. However, the one I know you said you liked the segment. The segment. Brian Cage's powerbomb must really suck, because he powerbombed Sting last week, and Sting's 60-something years old or whatever, and I think maybe Sting should have been down and out a little bit longer than 7 days if you're going to try to sell that.
You can't worry about that shit anymore in wrestling.
I
know. They do entire angles that should last 6 months on a show. It doesn't matter.
I skipped past the Miro wedding crap because I don't like any of that. People will get on the WWE about ruining a wrestler or not using a wrestler to their potential or whatever. And ever since AEW got their hands on Miro, he has been involved in some of the worst wrestling television I've ever seen in my life. Period. End of story. It's garbage. I won't even watch it anymore. If I see him and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford on the TV or on my computer, I just fast forward past it because I know I'm going to hate it. You know?
Yeah. Dude's super talented, and they're doing nothing with him.
Mm-hmm. I'm in no way saying WWE used him properly those last few years. You know, after I'd say WWE dropped the ball on Rusev after his feud with Cena. You know, he got that really good push into the feud with Cena, and then after that, they flip-flopped and flied with him too. But AEW, you got your hands on a talent, and you've just ruined it, you know. But it's AEW, and it's everything moves. It's funny that you said that just a little bit ago about how a whole angle that should play out over a long period of time plays out in one night in wrestling. The history of AEW, what is it, 2 years old now?
Something like that.
It seems like 6 years worth of history. Because everything, like nothing stays consistent. Nothing, you know what I mean? Like the way that the storytelling goes, it's all bipolar, and it moves so fast. So I was just gonna say about Miro, 2 months from now he'll be in a completely different. You know, it'll be a completely. Yeah. We'll just be expected to forget that all this garbage with Ford and what's his name is over, or never happened, I guess. Let's see, we had Cutler and Hager. Anything on that?
No, other than, I mean, were you going to talk about them beating up Papa Buck?
Not really.
Well, I'm just saying, if you notice when they beat him up, they like beat him up, and obviously the guy's like, you know, not a wrestler or whatever, but their dad's way of selling was just like, oh, they beat me so bad my arms are completely stiff. Like he got like like they picked him up and he was like this, and they slammed him up against the truck and he was like this, just leaning on it. It was bad. Everything about this was bad. And then after that, they're like, oh, Shaq and that Cargill girl are gonna wrestle Cody Rhodes and Carrot Cake next week or whatever. It's like, I don't want to see Cody Rhodes. I don't want to see Carrot Cake and Cody Rhodes wrestle Shaq and Cargill. That's gonna be terrible. AEW makes me so mad. Like it just like Raw I watched and I'm like, that was bad. AEW I watched it and I'm just mad because this company has people like on their roster that are super talented and super great, and they just don't use them for shit. And then the garbage people they have are like, oh, let's do everything with these people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just annoying. Like AEW, okay, these should be the 10 people, and then I'll shut up about AEW. The rest.
No, go ahead.
These are the 10 people.
There isn't a lot to talk about the shows because they weren't great this week. So anything you add is fine. Right. If you notice, I'm not too exuberant this week about the show.
This is how the roster. They should have 10 guys or 10 top acts in their company on the heel side and the babyface side, and it doesn't even need to be any particular order. Okay. Anyway, should be their 10 on the heel side. Should be Lance Archer, Miro, Brian Cage, Chris Jericho, and FTR. Okay? And I'm not even the hugest Chris Jericho fan right now, but he's a fucking star and people know who he is. On the other side, it should be Adam Page, Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes, Pac, and Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. Where the fuck is Frankie Kazarian at? Where the fuck is he? He's one of the best wrestlers they got. Where the fuck is he? And where's Sean Spears? Where are these people that are fucking talented? Where are they at? So I don't have to watch Kenny Omega act like he's ever used a hammer in his entire fucking life.
Yeah. Well, okay, so now let me get pissed. The next segment involved Isaiah from Private Party against Adam Page. All right. Here is one of the things that makes me the most angry about AEW. Adam Page is easily one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers in the world. Okay. I really, really like Adam Page. But they put Adam Page. Adam Page is like this great wrestler and this great talent that they stick him in the worst shit. Like he had to be in that tag team with Omega forever, and now they've got him in this crap with the Dork Order that I've hated that group since it started, and that's not an indictment on Luke Harper, rest in peace. It's a wrestling storyline. I don't like the Dark Order deal. Didn't like it before, and I don't like it now. And now that's what Adam Page is wrapped up in. And then this goofy crap. He's this great wrestler that they always have mixed up in crap. And
I'm saying he should be the champion of their company.
Mm-hmm.
He should be the champion of their company, and he should be feuding with somebody like Chris Jericho or Miro,
MJF.
somebody like MJF for like the championship, And he's not. He's not doing anything that even matters.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous.
That's the most frustrating thing about AEW to me is their positioning of Adam Page single week. Obviously, you can guess that I don't know what happened in the segment with Kenny Omega and Don Callis because I don't watch Kenny Omega anymore. So
Kenny Omega tried to pretend like he was doing like building something. Like that's why I said he was attempting to look like he was hammering. But when he was hammering, he was like hammering like this.
So he uses a hammer the way he wrestles. He doesn't know how to do it properly.
It was just ridiculous.
And of course, I elaborated at the beginning of the show because it was my favorite match of the week this week. Lance Archer and Phoenix, the main event of AEW. Again, I really like both of these guys, and I thought they meshed really well in the ring together. I really liked the match.
It was okay. It was good.
Now we move on to Friday Night SmackDown. Best show of the week this week. The beginning promo. Roman Reigns is as good a heel as he's as good a heel as you will see in modern sports entertainment. He is so good in that role, and every single week he just gets better. And the funny thing about it is, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, I don't even think Roman needs Paul Heyman. I guess it's cool that Paulie's there, and I'm not saying they should break him up or anything, but he is good enough as this cocky heel champion. He doesn't even need Paul Heyman. He doesn't need him there.
I don't think he necessarily needs him, but it helps the gimmick.
Yeah.
Being like the head of the table, they're basically saying like he's the head of the mob or whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like the Robert Duvall-esque type, you know what I mean? Like he's the guy that's there with the advice and the maybe you should do this or like later on in the show when he was like, I just talked to Adam Pearce.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that if Daniel Bryan beats Jay tonight, he'll get the title shot. Only if he beats him. Like that type, like that's where it works. I think. Brock. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Brock.
I was gonna say Brock. The character Brock Lesnar didn't necessarily need Paul Heyman, but it wouldn't have been as impactful without Paul Heyman, if that makes sense.
Daniel Bryan comes out, wants to face Roman for the Universal Championship. And then the the situation with Jey Uso, et cetera, et cetera. This is going to lead to a match between the two later on in SmackDown. In SmackDown. What am I, Bret Hart? At the Survivor
Thunderdome,
Series.
sir. It's in the Thunderdome, which is on SmackDown.
All right. The next segment, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic against Otis and Chad Gable. Hated it. I don't like what they're doing with Otis. I don't like that character as a heel. I was someone who actually, I didn't like the fact that he was the Money in the Bank winner, but I was somebody that actually enjoyed his goofus babyface gimmick. And I mean, I guess it's giving Chad Gable something to do on TV, which isn't a bad thing. But I wasn't a fan of this match. The Rey Mysterio Dominic Mysterio thing lost me because it never went. And I sound like one of those guys that's like, I wish they'd do what I wanted them to do on TV. But in this case, I guess I am. It never went where I wanted it to go. I wanted Dominic by now to have turned on his father. And I wanted that to be a thing. Like the whole Dominic and Rey thing being together has drug out too long, I guess. And it's just boring to me.
Well, it's boring, but also they couldn't turn the kid because the kid wouldn't be able to be a heel yet. And they shouldn't have brought they shouldn't have brought Dominic Mysterio into the WWE until Rey Mysterio was ready to leave the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion.
I agree. Because then you could do that. You could have Rey pass the legacy on,
Yeah, here's the mask. See you later. I'm going to go. I'm going to hop on your mom's back and she's going to give me a piggyback ride off in the sunset. I'm going to be good to go. Yeah, we're going to be good to go, But, yeah, him and it's never going to work until they get him away from his dad. And turning Dominic Mysterio heel would be the equivalent of when they tried to turn David Flair heel.
I disagree if they would have done it when I wanted them to do it. If they would have done it, and I mean it wouldn't happen now because she's not there anymore, but if they would have done it mid-year when Zelina Vega had her little heel faction going on Raw, I think it could have worked. I think it could have worked with her and then having Garza and who's the other guy?
Austin Theory was in the group.
No, well, I'm talking about the other. It doesn't matter. I think it could have worked with Dominic joining that group at that time and turning on Rey. But yeah, now I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's jumped the shark with me anyway. But there are 2 times on this show this week that I wrote the word finally, which is why a couple of the reasons the show got high marks from me this week. Finally, they are doing right by Apollo Crews in this company.
Yeah.
Because his new / kind of old gimmick, I love it. I love that he is acknowledging, his heritage and he's really good as a heel, and I'm enjoying this. And I'm like, finally, they're giving this dude his due and giving him the kind of push that he deserves. Because I don't know if I've ever looked at him as a guy that I would see in the main event, but I definitely see him as a top of the mid card guy. Yeah. And he's really good, and I think he's really good in this role. And just like I said, I just wrote down, finally, they're giving this guy something to sink his teeth into.
And he'll do a good job with it. I've always been a fan of him. You know that. I think he's fantastic in the ring, and I think he's going to do. I mean, he's going to do as far as how the WWE wants him to go. But however far they let him go, he's going to do a fantastic job with it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And I like this rivalry with Big E. They kind of did it old school style where they kind of started out as buddies. And again, in pro wrestling or sports entertainment now, everything is on fast forward. It probably should have played out over 8 to 10 months. It only played out over 2 months, but whatever. It was still decent storytelling with them starting out with, their buddies, and then they have a little competitive thing over the title, and then Apollo turn. I really enjoyed this. I know I'm harping on it, but I'm just glad they finally gave the guy something to sink his teeth into because he deserves it.
Yeah.
I already have Tamina and Liv Morgan. We talked about that. I thought that was the stinker of the week this week. I know you probably didn't like the next segment. The Bianca Belair chooses which champion she's going to face at WrestleMania segment.
I didn't watch it.
Okay. Well, I'll fill you in. She's going to face Sasha Banks. I like these two, as you know. I like both of them. And I'm looking forward to that match at WrestleMania. The next thing I didn't watch, because I don't watch the Street Profits, because they annoy me just as much as Kenny Omega. It was the Street Profits against Baron, and Baron Corbin was here too. I'm out, man. I like Sami Zayn, but I'm three quarters out of here. I'm out of here. I didn't watch it. Did you watch it? And what did you think?
I did watch it, and the Street Profits are annoying on the microphone, but in the ring, the Montez Ford isn't bad. Angelo Dawkins is just kind of there. They did do something kind of neat though, like Corbin kept trying to do his shit, and like Sami Zayn's little camera crew kept getting in the way. I mean, that was kind of funny. Like he'd try to like do the deal where he drops down and runs around the ring, comes back up and clotheslines the guy, and like the camera people were in the way, and he was just like, "God damn it, get out of the way!" And like Sami was like, "Leave them alone, they're my people," and just shit like that. Like that was kind of fun. The Street Profits ended up winning because the camera crew, fucked some shit up and got in the way. I really hope it's not leading towards like King Corbin versus Sami Zayn, because that'll be a turkey of a feud. But it wasn't bad for what it was.
Now here's the next thing where I wrote finally. The Seth Rollins Cesaro segment, I really liked it.
I did too. It almost was my favorite segment.
They got to talk, they got to allude to their past in Ring of Honor without saying Ring of Honor. Cesaro looked, he's always in amazing shape, but he looks like a top guy. He looks like a top face. Seth Rollins is not doing the Monday Night Messiah thing anymore, which makes me very happy, because that was one of my least. I love Seth Rollins, guys. If you listen to our shows, I'm a huge mark, have been since he was in Ring of Honor. I hated the Monday Night Messiah gimmick. It was just like, it was so monotonous and boring, and I'm so glad that he's just back to being Seth Rollins. And the segment was great. It put Cesaro over great finally.
I think when he got knocked down, he was like, "Huh? What? No, don't do that."
Yeah.
like he was cutting the promo, still holding the microphone while he had his legs.
Don't do that.
Which was funny. Like usually, like the guy would just like bump and like drop the mic and all that. That was good shit.
Yeah, I really like this, and I hope it leads to. I actually almost wish this would have happened 3 weeks from now, because I'm bummed that this is probably going to wind up being a Fastlane match and not a WrestleMania match, But either way, we're going to get the match, and that's cool. But I hope that this means that the door is open for Cesaro now. I've always heard that Vince is a big mark for him, so I don't know why he's never gotten that next tier push that he deserves. Totally deserves. He's one of the best workers in the world, and they've had him for like 10 years. And he's been U.S. champ, he's been Intercontinental champion, but he's just never gotten that big main event push.
Probably he's got the Dolph Ziggler syndrome. He's fantastic in the ring, but he's like a good citizen, you know what I mean? Like he's he does his job. I've never really heard about him being like hurt. If he was, they've all been hurt, but you know what I mean? Like I can't remember like Cesaro being out for like a year. because he has some kind of injury. But you never hear people be like, "Oh, Cesaro's being a pain in the ass in the locker room" or anything like that. He's a good guy. He just comes to work, does his job, and goes home. You know, and they'll have, if you want him to have the best match on the card, he'll have the best match on the card. If you just kind of want him to have a good middle card match, you go out there and have a good little middle card match. And sometimes I think that might be the kiss of death sometimes in that company if you're not like, you know what, this is bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, look at Tito Santana.
Yeah.
You know, Tito. Like you just described Tito. Tito Santana and Cesaro are not the same wrestler, people, but you know what I'm saying, Aaron. You just described Tito Santana. You know, good citizen, works hard, comes to work every night. He'll give you the best match on the card, but he'll just be in a tag team if you want him to be. Good old reliable Tito. You know, Arriba.
Yeah.
For years and years, he was just good old reliable Tito.
As long as you give me my check, I'm cool.
Last but not least, Daniel Bryan, Jey Uso. Decent match until Roman Reigns came out for the shenanigans at the end. Any final thoughts on that one?
Nope.
All right. Well, I think overall, like I said, if I didn't sound exuberant this week, folks, I just wasn't exuberant about much this week until we got to SmackDown because, man, the Apollo Crews thing and the Cesaro thing psyched me up end of the week. I was like, when I was watching all these shows this week and I got to just to watch SmackDown last night, I was like, man, this week's been kind of a bummer. I'm going to be depressed this week on the show. And then I watched SmackDown and I was very pleasantly surprised.
Just a little bit ago, I did post that I don't care who knows it. I enjoy SmackDown when I watch these shows. And honestly, the reason it is because I think SmackDown has personally has my favorite roster of wrestlers. That's what I think.
All right. Well, any parting words for our listeners / viewers this week as we sign off for this edition of That's Not Wrestling?
Nope. Just thanks for watching and thanks for listening.
All right, everybody. And we will sit through all this crap again next week, and we'll be back next week with our report on the week in sports entertainment as the We Can't Wrestle podcast presents.